All right, so this is the Dungeon Master guide that I created. Well, the Game Master guide, and there's not as much in this module as there is with the Player's Guide. But yeah, pretty much I have NPCs in here, and what I've done is I've taken everything from the core rulebook and added those in, and then I've also added in a couple of extras from the Companions Guide, and also from the what is it? The Player's Companion, and also from the Campaign Builder's Guide. There's also a bestiary as well, but a lot of those creatures I don't know if I'd use, so I don't know if I'm going to take the time to invest into doing that, but I might. There's also Mystara, a converted Mystara monster manual, and then there's also a Midgard bestiary as well, which I would probably use those monsters before I use the fantasy age stuff. So yeah, got a couple monsters in here, not much, but they're all fully decked out. All of the macros work, all of the attacks. Then of course you got your, the different colored dice for stunts, and then it lists all the special qualities as well. So it's pretty nice. I like the way the sheets turned out. So that's what's going on here, and then I've also got some magic items as well. There's things like Head Taker and stuff, which is a magical pole arm, 2d6 plus 6 damage. An Enchanted Halberd, which provides a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls. So the players will need to add +3 when they're using this. They'll have to add 3 into the modifier box to attack. So, if they were using the halberd here, it'd be +9 instead of +6. So that's pretty nice. But the damage will the damage will calculate. So, but then this isn't a very automated rule set, and this is the way that I wanted it. But this will calculate your attack versus your opponent's defense, and it'll tell you hit or miss. So, yeah, it's pretty nice. It's actually really nice. So I've also created a kind of like I guess you would say a portion of where I had. Well, this is actually, sorry guys, I'm not feeling well. I'm not with it right now, but I want to show you guys this because I'm excited about it. But this is all of the content that's in my Game Master's guide. So if we're doing stuff on the fly, I've got all kinds of like adventure ideas here. I've got all of the DCs and modifiers for the different tests, and then any kind of modifiers from -3 to +3. Just basically Game Master information. If I want to make traps on the fly, here's the damages, and then here's a couple of examples. Adversaries I'm still working on. Adversaries are kind of a train wreck in Fantasy Age. But I've actually created a database of every single monster that, take the assassin for example, deadly poison is an attack. So I put deadly poison over here with all of the different special quality attacks. So when I am creating monsters, I don't have to say, well, I remember seeing poison attack somewhere, and I don't have to look through 50 NPCs or 100 NPCs to find it. So all I'll have to do is just basically copy and paste this onto the NPC sheet, which is only going to make this super easy for me. So I broke it up into attack special qualities, defensive special qualities, and then other features as well, like flight, swimming, aquatic, etc. So like all of the neutral stuff. So I think this is going to help me a lot once I start diving into creating monsters. So what I'm also in the process of doing is there are quite a few sections in multiple Fantasy Age books. So for the adversaries, basically beefing up the adversaries, this is how you beef up adversaries. If you want an elite, a heroic, or an epic monster. And here's, everything that you'll do to modify it. So if I want to take this lizard man and make him there is my alarm chirping. If I want to take this lizard man and make him like a lizard man shaman, I can make him an elite and use these rules here, adjust it, add some spells, and be good to go. And just basically duplicate the lizard man character sheet and then rename the new one lizard man shaman. So that's cool. Here's creating NPCs. And this is in the player's companion. And there's some pretty nice, if you're going to there's 5 different degrees of monsters, everything from minor to legendary. So here's the base formulas, which there's actually big swings for, attributes for minor. And we've already talked about this, but I found this, I thought I remembered seeing something like this in the player's companion. So these are basically the medium for each threat level. So if, take for instance, you have, minor, you get a total of between 1 and 10 attributes, but the medium is like a 4. I don't know why it's not a 5, but that's just my opinion. Moderate should be, 15 between low and high, between 10 and 15, 15, 20, 20 and 25, and it just keeps going up. And then, here's your health adjustments. Here's the amount of focuses that you get, which are basically skills. Here's talents and specializations. So a minor threat level creature can have 3 of my monster special qualities. So I can use 3 of these for a minor creature, which is cool. So it at least has a formula that I can kind of go back and adjust. Because as you can see here, a minor character is between 1 and 4, level 1 and 4. So the medium, you can have between 1 and 10 attributes for a minor character. So I'm actually going to make a step-by-step character, a step-by-step monster creation for every level. So I'm just going to do some math and just some generic math and get all this figured out and calculated to where all I have to do is just, look at what I need to do for step 1, 2, 3, and just, basically just copy paste monster special qualities. So, yeah. That's going to be really nice. That's going to be nice. So I like the way that the monsters are coming out now. But I'm going to take this creating and I'm going to turn this into, like I said, a step-by-step character creation by using, these base formulas. Then I can create basically a matrix like 13th Age has, like Pathfinder 2 has, and like what Starfinder has. And then I can do some basic math, figure out all the different monsters for level 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to combine in the beefing up the adversaries to where not only I'll have everything, all of the formulas there for a level 1 creature, but a level 1 elite, a level 1 heroic, and a level 1 epic. And then, etc. Level 2, 3, 4, all the way to level 20. So it'll take a little bit of work to do, but seeing that we're going to wait until Unity comes out probably now, I think this will give me a perfect time to totally get Fantasy Age 100% polished and ready to go. So I mean, it's ready to go now. I mean, we can play now, but I just need to get the players to be able to play. Yeah. I've just got some scheduling time conflictions, so I need to reach out to some other players that are on my list of players, and we'll get all that set up. So here is I've got this broken up into rewards as well. So here's everything with experience points. You can do milestones as well with Fantasy Age. So here's pretty much experience rewards, experience per encounter. Here's like all kinds of monetary treasure. So if I'm just needing to give some money out, all I have to do is just click on monetary treasure and figure it out, and just have them roll, and that's how much you get. So I like the honorifics. Those are sort of like titles. So we'll be using those, which is an option. And then I've taken and created some temporary items that were in the basic rule book. And here are the permanent items. And then as I add more, I'll divide it up into, slots, basically, like weapons, armor, shields. But I'm not going to do that until I start adding in a bunch more. So, because it's all about magic items, right? And then here's if I want to make some cursed items on the fly, I can do that and add some cursed effects. And I'm going to do this the exact same way as I'm creating NPCs with the monster special qualities here, where I can just copy and paste these and put them onto the monster sheet. So I'll be able to create magic items on the fly as well, which is pretty nice. And I think I have a bunch of, here's a bunch of magic item benefits also. So I've been doing that also, which is nice. It's turned out really good. So that's pretty much what I've got going for the GameMasters version, which is pretty solid, and it's ready to go right now, to be honest. Like I said, nice little chirp for you again. All right, I'm gonna go to the other screen. Here we go. Here's my player's guide, and this is massive. I have put about 24 hours into adding data into the player's guide. So the player's guide obviously is for the players, and it has everything for, I've broken it up into character creation and basic rules. So if the players need to know about ability focuses, which are the skill checks, all they have to do is click on the ability focuses and then just kind of read what each one is. So if they want to know what, communication gambling is, it's basically playing games of chance and profiting from them. If they want to know what constitution drinking is, and then consuming large quantities of alcohol and avoiding the after effects. So I've broken that up. Pretty much put all the rules in alphabetical order. So here's the actions if they want to know what all of the actions are for major actions and minor actions, because there are major and minor actions in Fantasy Age. So I've taken care of that for the players. They can just open this up. They can drag and drop these little dragon pendants down to the macro bar so they can easily open them up. Have stuff on macros already. So here's all your major actions, your minor actions, and then some variable actions, free actions and stuff. So yeah. So that's how I've got the rules set up basically. Oh, and with all of the stunts, I've got I put images. I actually took enlarged images so players can see what the stunt point cost is. So that's cool. That turned out good. Optional action points rule. I think this is in the player's companion. We may use this also, where you can kind of do some re-rolls and stuff. Has everything. So here's everything with character creation, which is really nice also. So it has all nine steps. It has, all of the races, has all of the classes, and not only are they from the basic rule book, but I've added in all of the other optional races from the player's companion. So basically, there's twice as much content that I originally intended to have. Because the player's companion is a beautiful supplement to where it has, like I said, twice as much content. It adds a ton more spell arcanas, and then it has some other optional stuff like chases. It also has basically like ship combat, mass combat, stuff like that. So that's all other stuff that I'm going to be adding in as well. So yeah. So not only can you access the races here, here's also the races. All of the content can be accessed from the sidebar buttons on the right-hand side as well. So, you just open up the races and stuff, and there you go. You just access everything till your heart's content. So it's beautiful. I really like the way that it turned out. So if you want to, figure out what you want to do with being a beast folk, here you go. Here's everything with the beast folk. And then there's a bunch of different beast folk. So I'm going to give the players, if they want to play a beast folk, they can either roll it randomly with a 2d6, or they can just choose one of the different beast folk. So you can be an avian, or a reptile, or a primate, or a rodent, feline, canine, a deer, bigger guy. I mean, you can be any kind of beast folk that you want. Here's your benefits here. And then it has your other rollable tables as well. So, which is beautiful. Works out good. And then there's all kinds of other different class features, racial features that you can, or beast folk benefits that you can choose to. So that's cool. Oh, and then the way that I have the races set up with the drag and drop and everything, you can go to the Others tab, and it shows you all of the different traits that you're going to get, base traits that you're going to get for being a beast folk or a halfling or whatever. So, and all that stuff is drag and drop, and we'll go onto the character sheet with the drag and drop. So that's pretty nice. Classes, there's 3 classes in Fantasy Age. And here they are, Mage, Warrior, and Rogue, or Rouge, if you want to call it a Rouge. I like the Warrior. So here's everything of the Warrior, and you can open it up, hold down Control, and here's everything that you get with the Warrior. Here's your primary ability scores, secondary ability scores, starting health, weapon groups that you're proficient in, and then here's everything you get by level. And what I've done is I've taken the gaining levels portion of this player's module, and I have incorporated that into the classes. So they really won't even have to worry about looking at this. I mean, they can read it and find out how much XP they'll need for the next level. But all of this is already baked into, the class. So everything is drag and drop, and it'll appear on your sheet, which is cool. So that's how the races are set up. And then there's, all of the other customization, like your backgrounds. Here's all of your backgrounds. And I think there were 60 new backgrounds. So there's like over 100 backgrounds now that the players can choose, which is awesome. So if they want to have a bandit background, here's everything that, there'll be a lower class for their social class. They'll automatically get dexterity, stealth, and strength intimidation for their ability focuses. And then here's some other information. So backgrounds are all drag and drop as well. And then I've also, for the backgrounds, if they want some randomness, I've given everything here is, all separated by class. So here's outsider backgrounds, lower class, middle class, and then upper class. And then I actually made a massive rollable table here, which is awesome, to where if the player wants to have a random background, then I've taken all of the backgrounds from both the basic rulebook and also, oops, I hope I didn't duplicate that. No, I don't think I did. So they can roll from the D12 table. Don't tell anybody. There's no D12s in this game, but I wanted to merge them together so that it'll be nice. So if they want something just absolutely random, they'll just click it, and then it'll roll on the table. So they would actually be a middle class background, a student. And then they can take this from the chat, and then they can go ahead and open it up here so they don't have to go into the sidebar button. And then they can simply drag and drop it from the chat onto their character sheet. So yeah, that was fun to make that massive rollable table. That was actually pretty cool. I'm actually going to do that for treasure as well, like random treasure and stuff. So now starting, waiting, because I just need to figure out the players. It's just I've been trying for the last week to get everybody on the same page, and it's just not working. So I'm going to have to start reaching out to other players that are on my list to see if they can make the Sunday start time at 4 p.m. Mountain. So that's how I have the background set up. I think that is awesome. And like I said, this is not only the basic book, but this is the player companion. So it gives the players basically twice as many backgrounds to choose from, which is awesome. And then here's, as you level up, you also get talents and specializations. So here are all of the talents. And I've done this to where they're all in alphabetical order. And same with everything else. This is everything from the basic rule book and also the player's companion. So if you want a mounted combat style talent, then you need to be a warrior, and you need to have the dexterity riding focus as a requirement. And then there's 3 different levels to train for mounted combat style, which all talents have. So there's a novice, journeyman, and master. So you continually, you always add more customization to your character. And all of the talents are here as well in the sidebar button, and they are all drag and drop onto the character sheet. Next are the specializations, or I guess if you are a huge D&D 5e fan, which most people are, the specializations they're sort of like archetypes. And there are a ton of specializations. I believe that there were, I think there were 10 or so, maybe 10 or 12 in the core book, the basic book. But the companion added like 25 more. So there are tons of specializations now. There's specializations for the mage class, the rogue class, and the warrior class. And some of these I've actually doubled, as you can see, like Arcane Dabbler, because the Arcane Dabbler has a requirement of either warrior or rogue. So I put it in both classes. So, yeah. And then with the player's companion, there are new specializations that you can be any class. So like the Bard or the Beastmaster, Commander. Commander was my favorite class in D&D 4e. So yeah, Pirate, Spy, Gangster. So you can have all these specializations, which is really nice. And they're all drag and drop, etc. And, it also comes with a talent, which the talent works exactly like the other talents, but these are specialization talents. And there's also novice, journeyman, and master degrees of skill. So as long as you fit the requirements, you'll get 3 degrees of customization for being a spy. So that's pretty cool. And then last but not least, which took a ton of time, oh man, this took a ton of time, was the magic. So in the basic rule book, there are 12 magic arcanas. And arcanas are basically like spell schools in D&D 5e or Pathfinder or whatever. So what I've done is I've put all of the magic mechanics here, and they're super easy. It tells you how to calculate your magic points, how many magic points you get a level. You know, if you want to, you can cast in Fantasy Age, you can cast spells in heavy armor. It just costs you more magic points or spell points. So if you cast a spell in heavy plate that costs 3 SP or MP, mana points, spell points, whatever you want to call them, it'll cost you 6 extra for a total of 9 if you're in heavy plate. So it at least gives you the option to wear heavy armor, and you can jump into the fray of combat as a mage, which is really cool. Here's the mechanic for casting spells, 3d6 plus your intelligence plus any arcana focus, which is a +2 bonus. Spell power, regaining spell point, your magic points, spell points. Here are the base spell stunts, which I've added as well. And then here are divine stunts, which divine stunts are optional, and they are in the companion book. So divine stunts have a unique mechanic that we'll probably end up using. So here they are here. But if you can also have bad, seeing that you're rolling for divine, there's these things called crisis of faith. So if you fail your attack, if you fail your spell check roll, and if you have like a doubles or whatever, then you can actually not cast spells for a certain amount of rounds, which is pretty insane. Which I actually like. It adds drama to the game. And I think that's pretty cool. So that's an optional, and I'll let the players. But there's some pretty awesome divine stunts, man. You can sacrifice your life for someone else on top of the heal that you're doing. You can do like all kinds of different armor bonuses, other buffs and stuff with divine stunts. So I think the players will probably go for that, which I would, but just don't roll bad. So. Also, there is an optional minor arcana, which are sort of like, if you're familiar with D20 games, D&D, Pathfinder, cantrips, and it's optional, and it's in the player's companion. So, you start with a couple, and then every level you get to choose one until you have them all. They cost basically one mana point, and it's a minor action to use. There's nothing damage-wise or anything. They're just kind of cool little quirky things like Arcane Candle, Glyph, Mantle, Servant, Mage's Cloak, Compass, and Flint. So they don't have any kind of like true damage mechanic or anything like that. Those are all in the Arcana and spells. So like I said, there are 12 core spell arcanas in the basic rulebook. And there were 4 spells for each, for a total of 48 spells. Well, the player companion vastly expanded on magic, and the companion added 4 more spells for each base arcana, and it also added 7 new arcanas with 8 spells in each. So I know Beast Arcana was one of the new ones that were in the companion. The Cold Arcana, I believe Death Arcana was a new one. I think Enchantment was new. I believe Heroic was new. And then it even added Psychic, which is like psionics. So there's a total of 19 magic arcanas. And as a mage, you can dabble into each one of these arcanas and take spells, which is pretty cool. And each one of these arcanas, you have to specialize. So there's more talents. Not only are there general talents, there's specialization talents that you get. And then as a caster, as a mage, or if you're a hybrid, then you can also take another talent with the actual Arcana that you're casting spells from, which is pretty awesome. And then, just like the other talents, there's 3 levels of progression: Novice, Journeyman, and Master. So it's pretty cool. So there's 4, of course, there's 3 tiers. There's Novice, Journeyman, and Master. And there's 4 Novice spells in each Arcana. There's 2 Journeyman spells in each Arcana. And then there's 2 Major or Master spells in each Arcana. So some of these are pretty crazy. And especially with the fire and stuff, it starts getting pretty insane. And as a mage, not only can you be a fire Arcana mage, you can also take the healing Arcana. So you can blast away, and you can be a healer as well. Or, if you want to be like a utility, you can have all these insane, crazy buffs for your players, like Hero's Might, which infuses your players with +1 to damage and all this other stuff, and be a healer. Because you're going to get to dabble in multiple spell arcanas in Fantasy Age. So that's pretty awesome. So yeah, there's 19 magic arcanas, and they're all drag and drop. All of the spells are here. I believe there's 100 and some spells. So I mean, they're all done, and they're all beautiful, man. The way that the rule set's set up, it's beautiful. Equipment is the same way. So I've basically done all of the items in the basic book, and then there were some martial art weapons added in the companion because of like the monk and stuff for the specialization. And they're all A to Z. There's like 300 items in here, so the players can use the search box down below. And it has everything. So if you have heavy plate armor, it has an armor rating of 10, and it adjusts your character sheet for you. A -5 armor penalty, etc. So it's really set up nicely. And then, like I said, I have all of the other rules in alphabetical order, and with some optional stuff too. So, and yes, there's even grenades in Fantasy Age, which when I first read that there were grenades in this game, I was thrilled. There's like acid vials, stuff like that. Here's a special stunt that if you hold on to your grenade and you don't throw it, there's a chance it could explode in your hand. So here's the stunt, which is actually pretty cool. The DM can interject, and then here's all of the rules for grenades and stuff. And there's actually a talent to where you can actually craft grenades also, and craft the vials, and crafting is actually a thing in this game as well. So that's everything that I've put into the Fantasy Age rule set. Like I said, I got about 24 hours off and on invested into getting all of this done. And I'm so happy that I added the companion in, because it adds twice the content. I mean, I got to thinking about it, and I wasn't going to add the companion at first, but I'm like, wow, the players would really like to have these extra spells, these new arcane focus groups. They'd love to have the new races, all of the new talents, especially the specializations. There's a lot of awesome specializations now. I mean, you can be a Beastmaster, a Berserker, a Champion, a Commander, an Elementalist, a Gangster, a Gladiator, Guardian, Gunfighter. Yes, there's guns in this game. Knights, Mage Hunters, Necromancers, Paladins, Pirates. I mean, you can be anything. Sword Mage, Totem Warrior. All kinds of ways to specialize your characters now. So the player's guide is actually done 100%. I need to add in rules. It's not 100% done. I'll rephrase that. I don't have anything else to add in, like classes or anything like that, talent, specializations. I have to add in a couple more rules, and I need to add in the rules for mass combat. I need to add in all of the vehicles, and then I need to add in chases, the rules for chases. And then once I add that over the next couple of days, the player's guide will be done. I'll export it as a module. And then all I have to do from here until we start is I have another dilemma. So we'll talk about that in just a second. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is the Fantasy Age campaign that I'm going to be running. This is all of the players' content, and everything started on the GM side. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Let me know if there's anything that I need to add, or if you like what you see, let me know. So I just want to throw one disclaimer out there before I end this. This is not a public rule set. This is for private use only, because of all of the copyright data, and I cannot give it out or anything like that. So just letting everybody know, this is not community based. This is all private. So, all right. So leave a comment down below, like the video if you like it, and let me know what you think in the comment section. Thanks everybody. Until next time, happy gaming.